What's up, guys? You might be tired of seeing my face today, but there's just been so much news and games being played, and the Braves got their chance at the prospect game against the Detroit Tigers, showing the stars of tomorrow and giving you a sneak peek at the possible future. And both teams are very rich with prospects. I would say the Braves are better in the pitching side of things, but a lot of our position player prospects are young, and we develop those typically from Latin America, and a lot of our position player prospects you've seen in spring training already at times, so that tells you where that is. But it was really exciting to see J.R. Ritchie, 22-year-old, coming off of Tommy John surgery, had a pretty solid outing. He did give up 5 hits and 2 runs, but the velocity he was amped up, obviously, to showcase his stuff, having his family and his friends in attendance and leaving an impression, and I think he did that. 2 strikeouts, 0 walks. He gave up 3 singles, but got a double play in the first to help limit the damage. You could see he was getting a little tired in a third inning, just not pitching a ton and coming off injury. You got to be careful with that, but the velocity being better than everyone expected. I think he touched 97, 98 against Max Clark, the 6th prospect in all of baseball for Detroit. So that is something to watch. And if he can finally put together an entire healthy season and kind of hone his craft and not have to worry about injuries, he could have the jetpack treatment that Spencer Schwellenbach does and some of the other prospects. Because obviously the Braves, if they think it's best for their career, it's the best way they can succeed. Plus, it'll help the Braves and it'll help them. That's the route they go. They really don't care what the number on the prospect rankings say or any of that. Plus, using the Latin America has been our route for position players for the most part. Garrett Bannerman, I think that's how you say it. It was our 12th ranked prospect, and he struggled. I think he was super amped. From what I've seen, he usually doesn't struggle with command, but he had 5 walks today. So it's just kind of sped up on him, which in that kind of stage, first impression, you want to make a good one, that type of thing. And I think he was hitting 100 at some point, and that's great. But just kind of, he'll learn. He all told 1 inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, 0 strikeouts. So definitely not the outing he wants, but he's still a name to watch with that velocity, and his easy delivery was really repeatable, and the velocity is obviously there. And I just think the moment that amped up, all that stuff, it happens. You're human and you're allowed to have that, and I think that's what Bannerman did. The standout for the pitching staff is obviously the 19-year-old Dieter Fuentes. 3 innings, 1 hit, 0 walks, 7 Ks, hitting 99 on the gun. Full eyeball emoji on that one, and he's only 19 years old. That's once again another gem by the Braves that I regretfully, I've never heard of the kid until today. So thank you, Spring Breakout games, but he's definitely going to be one to watch, and that's a heck of an impression for him as well. Offensively, like I said, a lot of these guys we've seen a little bit in other spring training games, but you got Luke Waddell had 2 hits. He was 2 for 4. Verdung had a RBI double. Compton had an RBI single. Dave McCabe, UNC Charlotte alum, had a single, scored a run. So a lot of good things there. Cal Conley had a double. Some names you've been grown familiar with the spring training being the way it is. Carlos D. Rodriguez had some good at bats. We have a lot of guys that in position players, they might not jump out at you, but the plate awareness and strike zone awareness and the deeper at bats, that was one thing that they kept highlighting with the position players that we do have currently in our system. And obviously we did a nice job of adding to that with the international signing period, which you'll see those guys coming up through the year and through the years. So that'll be very interesting. But as always, go Braves, champions forever. That was fun. And I'll be able to pay more attention. But definitely follow those guys because they could be on a Braves mound in Atlanta sooner rather than later. As always, go Braves, champions forever.